Hello everyone. Today in Cost and Management Accounting 3, the program of BCom, Subject Commerce, semester 5th semester, University Mangalore and session 26. So in this session today we are going to concentrate on process costing. So under process costing we are concentrating on problems and solution on normal loss and abnormal gain. So before going to the actual content of this particular session, let's recall what you did study in the previous session. So in the previous session, we have studied about how to solve problems on normal loss, how to solve problems on abnormal loss, and how to solve problems on abnormal gain. Learning objectives: to understand the concept of process costing, to understand the application of cost accounting procedures for manufacturing business, determination of the cost of a product. Session outcomes. So we will come to know how to solve problems on normal loss. We will be able to understand to solve problems on abnormal loss. It will help to understand to solve problems on abnormal gain, and it will help to understand the cost of product. Under this particular content and process costing, we are going to concentrate on normal loss problems and solution, abnormal loss problems and solution, abnormal gain problems and solution. Now let us come to the first actual problem. I'll just read out the question now. A particular brand of phenol passed through three processes during the week ended 15/1/2014. 600 gross bottles were produced. The cost book shows the following information. The information relating to particulars, process 1, process 2 and process 3. Under particulars, materials, process 1 it is 4,000, 2,000 and 1,500. Labor 3,000, 2,500 and 2,500. Direct expenses 600, 200 and 500. Cost of bottle in the process 1 it is nil, and next it is 2030, and next it is again nil. The indirect expenses for the period were rupees 1,600, and the byproduct were sold for rupees 240. Process 2 and the residue is sold for rupees 125.5. Process 3. To prepare the accounts in respect of each process showing the cost of production of the finished product per gross of bottles, indirect expenses are to be allocated on the basis of the labor. So ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮದು question. So ಈ question ಅಲ್ಲಿ what they are actually going to tell is, ನಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು phenyl passed, it is a brand of phenyl which has been passed with three process ಅಲ್ಲಿ they have actually produced 600 gross bottles. They have been produced, and they have given you the expenses relating to materials ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, labors, direct expenses, cost of bottles, everything for process 1, process 2 and process 3 they have been mentioned. And again they have separately mentioned that the indirect expenses for the period were rupees 1,600. So indirect expenses 1,600 ಇದೆ. The byproduct was sold for rupees 240, process 2, and the residue is sold for rupees 125.5, process 3. Prepare the accounts in respect of each process showing the cost of production of the finished product per gross of bottles. Indirect expenses are to be allocated on the basis of labor. ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮದು question. So let us go for the solution. ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ process 1, that is process 1 account ಅಲ್ಲಿ they have taken the output. You can see the output here 600. So ಇದು ನಾವು 600 bottles ಏನು actually purchase ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರು, that value you have to put here output. And next to materials they have given you the value. ನಿಮಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 4,000 ಅಂತ. ಈ 6.67 ಹೇಗೆ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 4,000 divided by 600 ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ 6.67 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. And to labor around 3,000 rupees they have given. Again same procedure you follow. 3,000 divided by 600 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ 5 rupees ಬರುತ್ತೆ. And to direct expenses also same thing. So it is you have to take the value and divide it by, that is the 600 have to be divided by 600, you will get 1. And the indirect expenses is same thing. So the indirect expenses is in the working note. Okay? So I'll show you the working note first. Now look into this. Indirect expenses will be done on the basis of allocation of labor. That is indirect expenses of rupees 1600 in ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. It should be apportioned among the 3 processes in the ratio of 6:5:5. So ಈ ರೇಷಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು 3 ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೂ ಸಹ. So in that process 1 ಗೆ first share of indirect expenses, it is 6/16. So 6/16 into 1600. 16 ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬಂತಂದ್ರೆ 6 plus 5 plus 5 ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ you will get 16. So if you take this calculation, you will get 600. Again for process 2 also same procedure you have to follow, you will get rupees 500. And here process 3 also same thing, that is rupees 500 you are going to get. Now coming back to the actual process account, process 1 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಇರೋದು informations, and for this information by process 2 account ಅಂದ್ರೆ next process ಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ we have to take it as by process 2 account. So it is as it is ಬರುತ್ತೆ 8213.67. This will be stated for the next process. ಈಗ ನಾವು process 2 ಗೆ ಬರೋಣ. Under process 2 also output will be the same thing, 600 gross bottles, and we have to bring down the balance of the previous process. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, process 2 process 1 account is 13.67 and 8200 we have been brought down. Now take the values of that particular account alirodu. To materials it is 2000, so divided by 600 you will get 33.33. To labor the same procedure you have to follow, and to direct expenses also same thing. So indirect expenses, they have been given you the ratio, that ratio we have been divided, and you will get the value as 0.83. Okay, ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ actually I have showed in the working note. Okay. Next is the cost of bottles. ನೋಡಿ ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ process 2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರೋದು, process 1 ಅಲ್ಲೂ process 3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ cost of ಇಲ್ಲ. So now you have to take here. And by ನೋಡಿ by sale of by products. So sale of by product to 240 rupees ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. That divided by 600 you will get 0.40. And next ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೈ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ 3 ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ we are going to take it. And in this we have been taken that is 15,190 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ when you minus 15,430 minus 240 you will get this much. And here also 25.71, that is 25.3140 you will get the actual value. So this is process 2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. And process 3 ನೋಡಿ, process 3 again the same procedure you have to follow. Bring down the balance of from the process 2 account. You have brought the values. You can see here 15,190, and your current cost per unit is 25.31 ಇದೆ. Same thing materials, labor and direct expenses, indirect expenses ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. And again sales by sale of by product ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಅಗೇನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ 125.5 ಅಂತ ಏನಿದೆ, that you have to take here. So that you divide it by 600 you will get 0.21. And same thing finished stock account. So by finished stock account it is output, process 3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ output ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ it is around 20,064.50, and per unit cost per unit is for 33. So this is about the process 3 account. This is the working note what did have been given and explained. Now coming for the next problem is, an article has to undergo 3 processes before it becomes ready for sale. From the following information, find out cost of production per unit of that article if 200 units of article were manufactured up to 31st December 2014. And this is the question. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ particulars ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ and 3 process ಇದೆ: manufacturing process, refining process and finishing process. In that material, labor and direct expenses the amount ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. And next line ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, the indirect expenses for the period amount to rupees 6,000 in the factory out of which rupees 2,000 is attributable to this product. There was no stock at the end in any process. The indirect expenses should be allocated to each process on the basis of labor. If any order for rupees 500 units of an article is received, prepare production order for the same. ಇದು ನಿಮ್ದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ನ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 3 processes ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ ದಟ್ 3 process they have given that is we have to find out the cost of production per unit and that and of that article. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, so that is given more important. Okay, now you can see here article, if 200 units of articles were manufactured, 200 articles ನ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು 31st December 2014 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್, ರಿಫೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಿನಿಶಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ amount to rupees 6,000 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. in the factory out of which rupees 2,000 is attributable to this product. So there was no stock at the end in any process. The indirect expenses should be allocated to each process on the basis of labor. So if any order for 500 units of an article is received, prepare production order for this. ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಇದರ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ, ಅದರ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್. ಸೊ now in this output, if you can see the units, you have 200. So for that you have to calculate here. To materials, they have given you the amount only. This cost per unit we have to calculate. So how we will calculate, that is 2000 divided by 200, you will get 10 rupees. Same thing with labor, again with the direct expenses, and to indirect expenses, that is we have to take the ratio at the end. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೆ ಆ ರೇಷಿಯೋನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. and by refining process account, so the whatever the balancing amount is, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 22.50 and 4,500 is the total. So this is about the manufacturing process account. Now refining process account, ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ that is the 200 units itself. Now to manufacturing process account, so it is from the previous process we have taken 22.50 and 4,500 as it is taken, and two materials they have given 1,000, calculate the per unit, and again two labor they have given 2,500, calculated the per unit as 12.5, and direct expenses also 200 for 1 rupee is the current that is the cost per unit, and to indirect expenses ratio ide, a ratio mele calculate you will get around 5. So this is about the total gist of your refining process account. So the total ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ 40, that is by finishing process account ಅಲ್ಲಿ 46.0 and 9,200 ನಮಗೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. and this is the output transferred. okay, so ಇದು output transferred ಆಗ್ತದೆ. then if you go for the next process, it is finishing process account. Under finishing process account, same output we are going to take here, that is output 200 units, and we have brought down the balance of the previous account, that is to refining process accounts. We have taken down the values, and next materials ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದರದ್ದು material value plus per unit calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. To labor also we have to take the value and calculate per unit, and same thing with the direct expenses and to indirect expense. So same calculations ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. By finished stock account it is output transferred is 58.25, that is 11,650 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So this is about the finishing process account. ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ನೋಟ್. This working note is purely related to indirect expense. I think by this we have completed the two aspects or two sessions of problems in this particular session. So the remaining problem we will discuss in the next process. So thank you.